Newt Gingrich joins us this morning. Newt, my comment would be, it's a bit late for that, isn't it?
Well, it's just a lie. I mean, the southern border's not closed. They're not effectively stopping people. They're not testing anybody for COVID and then holding them if they have COVID. What you have is the equivalent of a popular invasion in which people are just migrating north. And they come from all over the world. We now know there are people not just from Central America, but people from Africa, from China, who are showing up at our border on the south. And Biden has basically opened it up, and now they don't know what to do with it. It's hard to understand how could they not have known that if you communicate an open border, that you're eventually going to have several million people show up.
Well, weren't they sending a message to the Hispanic electorate in America? We'll do this for you if you vote for us. I mean, that sounds really a cynical thing for me to say, but it looks like it, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, except it doesn't work because actually Hispanics who live in America want to be protected from crime. They're against MS-13. I'm just now doing a paper where there's overwhelming support among Latinos for controlling the border, for strengthening the police, for 92% of all Hispanic Americans want to have people tested for COVID automatically if they come in, and reject this idea. I actually think it's the woke white liberals who are the key to this, and they have gotten in their head that you cannot have a fence at the border, but you can have a fence at the Capitol. And frankly, their thought process is so nutty, I find it very hard to follow them. And Biden's team represents that kind of a woke, out of touch with reality culture.
Yes, sir. I want you to listen to this. The White House says President Trump is to blame for the violence against Asian Americans. Roll tape, please.
For the last year, we've had people in positions of incredible power scapegoating Asian Americans.
Words have consequences. It's the coronavirus, full stop.
All right, Newt, what's your reaction to that?
Words have consequence is exactly right, which is why watching the Chinese Communist Party's propaganda filter through the American media is very disturbing. And watching us just set up exactly the party line as communicated by Beijing. And we do it over and over. We had a disastrous meeting in Anchorage where the Chinese communists basically just pounded on us in every possible way. And the Secretary of State sat there and meekly took it. And I think, let me give you an example. We know that there's a UK variant. We know that there is a South African variant. But variant of what? Well, variant actually of the Wuhan virus. But you can't say Wuhan because that would be inappropriate and the Chinese Communist Party would feel bad. So, there's this total hypocrisy about how we deal with it. And let me say as a historian, we have had long and terrible periods of prejudice against Asian Americans, whether it was the Chinese at the turn of the last century or the internment of the Japanese. I mean, there's no question that there have been occasions where Asian Americans have been dealt with in a difficult way. On the other hand, it's also true that virtually every Asian American group has done very well economically, has done extraordinarily well educationally. And if you want to talk about discrimination against Asians, let's look at Yale or Harvard or Berkeley and the degree to which they're beginning to discriminate against Asian Americans and creating quota systems. So I think we could have a rational conversation about that. Whether or not that has anything to do with a guy who's clearly insane and who probably killed the people in the massage parlors as a statement about sexuality, not about ethnicity, I think that is a totally different story. But we clearly have a lot of ground to make up. But the truth is, Asian Americans are doing very well overall, and they're now beginning to be discriminated against by white liberals who feel very guilt-ridden that Asians are doing so well.
Newt Gingrich, good stuff. Thanks for joining us, Newt. We always appreciate it.
Good.
And we'll see you again soon.
Thank you. Glad to be here.